Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video of Marvel Contest of Champions. Today is going to be a 5-star challenge for the Crucible event and we are going to attempt normal difficulty. Now in the normal difficulty you will have 4 different paths and each path represents one story chapter. So this is path number 1. This has all the fights from 7.1 bosses. There's another one for 7.2, 7.3 and so on to 7.4. So I'm going to do the first one. The reason I'm doing with 5-star champions, not everybody has 6-star or 7-star champions. And this will give you an idea that if you use the right champions and you boost right, you can do this, you can do the normal difficulty as well. So I will be uploading all 4 paths, so stay tuned for that. This is path number 1 with 5-star champions only. And the first fight is going to be against a Yondu with Super Masochism, Feats of Power, Rich Get Richer and Foresight. So ideally you need a cosmic champion that does not apply debuffs and can and has quite a bit of buffs, so you can gain extra power from Rich Get Richer. Now pretty straightforward Yondu fight. Keep pushing him to an SP1 and let him trigger that. Stay away from his SP2 and try not to bring in cosmic champions that have debuffs. So some good champions that work are going to be your Adam Warlock, your Hercules, your Odin, Valkyrie is also another one because of the buffs, and there's also Gamora. So yeah, different champions work here. I just got Hercules out of the way in the beginning, and yeah, there you have it, Yondu is down. Now this fight number 2 is a difficult fight. It's a long one, so I have sped it up. So make sure that you bring in the right champion for this fight, a tanky one, because you'll have to parry a lot. If you notice on the right side below the health bar, Black Widow, she is getting those evade charges. So the way this works, you have to build up those evade charges, and once you have 7 ideally, you can do Dex, and that will passively stun Black Widow, and during the stun she will take extra damage. But once the passive stun is taken away, once the cooldown is done, she will be back to not getting stunned when you parry. So any champion works. I like to bring in a mutant champion who is tanky or can do a lot more damage. Remember that I'm using only 5-star champions. You can do this with 6 stars as well that you have if you're attempting normal difficulty. It is taken me long because the attack rating on the 5 stars is really less and I'm really boosted here. But again, if you use a 7-star or 6-star champion, it would be much faster and easier. But here the whole thing is that you parry and reparry, build up those evade charges, and once you have 5 or 6, you can just evade, and that will passively stun the opponent, giving they also have stun vulnerability, so they'll take extra damage during that. Then you rinse and repeat and you kill her off. So the node that we're discussing right now is bullet time. There's also stun vulnerability, tenacity and enhanced shock. So if you get shocked, you are probably gonna die because of extra damage on the shock. Some really cool counters can be your champions that have passive stuns. So for example, your Storm, your Dust, your Onslaught, your Apocalypse, White Max, all of these champions can work well here. But again, the easier way is to build up 7 charges, then you wait, just like that, you have a stun, and use that time to apply damage on the opponent. Your SP2s will do extra damage. So yeah, my favorite champ to take her out is Colossus because he's very tanky. I don't need to worry about the block damage, and the SP2s are huge, so I'm able to take out Black Widow Deadly Region quite comfortably in the end. It's just a long fight, I had to speed it up, but I hope I've explained all the ins and outs of the fight. The next fight is going to be against a Black Widow Clairvoyant. The nodes are going to be Duke, so if you finish your combo with a different type of basic attack, you will gain a Fury on yourself. So if you do a 5-hit combo ending with a medium, and the next combo you do ending with a light, you will get a Fury on yourself, and you can keep alternating there to get those Furies. Another node is going to be Footloose, so whenever the opponent will use a special attack, they are going to get unstoppable, and also evade charge together. So to counter that, you need a champion that has easy access to slow, so that's why I am using She-Hulk. There's also unblockable specials, so all the specials will be unblockable. And there's also coolant leak, so you cannot use robot champions, otherwise they will take degen. So the easiest way to do this fight is to bring in champions that have easy access to slow, that can totally counter the Footloose node. So champions like Spider-Gwen, Silk, Sandman, Yellow Jacket, Spidey 2099, all of these champions that have easy access to slow can work. I am using a She-Hulk and I'm going to constantly spam my heavy attack to apply the slow and then specials. I'm not really worried about building up all of those Furies because Black Widow Clairvoyant is a small champion, so my Furies will not last longer and it will not be possible to keep them sustained. What I did not do before, I realized in the fight that there is a juke node as well. So halfway through the fight, I realized, okay, there's a juke node. I can actually alternate my combos and get extra Furies at the juke node. So I think somewhere when Clairvoyant is down to 30% health, I started alternating my attacks and I started getting extra Furies for the damage. So if you notice, there is an M icon just underneath She-Hulk's bar. So that means the last attack combo was with a medium attack. So if I use 5-hit combo with the light attack, that I will get a Fury and that will change to L. That is just a reminder for you what was your last 5-hit combo, so you can alternate on the next one. So that helps you with the juke node. So I think just right here when she's down to 30%, I realized I can switch my combo. And I think I started switching somewhere around here during the fight. But yeah, if you're gonna use 5-star champions, better take advantage of that juke node, which I missed out. But yeah, apart from that, it's a pretty simple fight. Both specials can be easily evaded by Black Widow Clairvoyant. I am really fully boosted here because I'm using 5 stars. If you're using 6-star champions here or 7-star champions, you should be getting through this quite easily. Again, this video is directed more towards the players who don't have big rosters. Then you have to go with 5-star champions and a mix of 6 stars. And I am focused on this video for people that do not have any kind of 7 stars. So I hope this helps you out. I'll see you on the next fight. Next fight is going to be against a Venom. Now this is a very fun fight, not really difficult. There is no hit mercy node, so if you knock down Venom, he will get a buff that will increase his critical damage. And there's also chitinous thorns, so if there's an armor up of Venom and you still hit him, you're going to get bleeds on yourself as a defender, and those bleeds are really gonna hurt. There's also cutting wires, so you cannot use robot champions because robot champions usually are bleed and poison immune, but with cutting wires, instead of bleeds, you will get degen on yourself, so that's not an option you can go for. And there's also foresight, so if you are going to intercept Venom, you're going to get a Fury that will increase your damage by 300%, so intercepting really helps. Now, how do you approach this fight? There are 2 ways you can approach it. You can either bring cosmic champions or champions that have easy access to armor break. So you can just break Venom's armor as soon as he gets an armor up from his slow symbiotic charge. That's one way. Another way is to bring in mystic champions and you just nullify, or you don't give an opportunity to get the stun. That's something what I am doing. I brought in a Symbiote Supreme and I am just using my SP3s and keeping the stagger on him, so he cannot get an armor. Even if he gets an armor, we can stagger it out. And I'm keeping him to an SP1 only. SP2 does a lot of block damage. But the good part with Symbiote Supreme is if you use an SP3, you get a protection armor as well. So I cannot lose then more than 15% of my health. So I can take the risk of pushing him to an SP2 with Symbiote Supreme. But if you're not using Symbiote Supreme and using a low champion, like a low PI champion, I would suggest you to not push him to an SP2. Yeah. Having said that, other champions that can work are going to be your Cosmic Ghost Rider. You can use Kushala as well. Destroyer can be another one. You can also bring in Gladiator, because what Gladiator will do, he will stop him from getting an armor. But you will have to get lucky. Venom should not start with an armor up, so I would suggest that Gladiator might not be he can work, but he might not be the best choice, or maybe I'm just not very well versed with Gladiator. But in most cases, he should work if Venom is not starting with an armor up. So I hope this helps, guys, and let's move on to the next fight. Next one is going to be a Green Goblin. Now I have sped up this fight because this is a cheese fight. So I'm just building up my poise charges. I'm going to use my Spider-Man Stark Enhance. The nodes here are going to be red lining. So anytime you go above 2 bars of power, you are going to be power drained. There's also power reserve, so your special will cost only like half of it will only cost half of your bar of power. Then there's also cramping and debilitate. Don't really need to worry about that. So you need a champion that can easily stun on SP1s. So all you need to do is to build up almost 2 bars of power, and then you can just spam your SP1s and you can stun and you can kill off Green Goblin quite easily. So this is really a cheese fight, something similar that can be achieved from Ronan as well. Then you can also use Hercules, but with Hercules you have to go to SP2 rotation on the stun for that. Gambit can do the same SP1 stuns, or you can also bring in Magic with the SP2 spam in the corner to keep him power drained, and you can keep throwing SP2 over and over again. Then there's always champions like Kingpin, where you can spam SP1 and that damage over time can take away Green Goblin, but you will have to evade his specials and all of that. So I would say your best options are your stun champions, so your Spider-Man Stark Enhance, Ronan, Gambit, Hercules. Just take him in the corner and just keep him in stun and don't let him throw any kind of special attacks. So just here you're noticing I am always having a bar of power because of the node power reserve, because my specials take only half of the amount of power is needed. So just medium light medium into SP1, then medium medium into SP1, and I can constantly stay in 1 bar of power and take out Green Goblin. So if you have an option, cheese him out. Next up is going to be a Rhino. Now I know I wrote it as is a 5-star challenge only, and I needed a Spider-Man for this fight, but hey, this is only a rank 2 6-star, so this is the same PI as a 5-star rank 5. If I had a Spider-Man at a lower level, I would have used him. The reason I'm using a Spider-Man here, I want to show you guys that this Spider-Man Classic is a full cheese for Rhino, because Rhino has this node by the name of Tantrum, Power Shield and Bubble Shield along with Matador. So your champion will only gain power when the opponent will throw a special attack, and also Bubble Shield, so whenever you will block Rhino, you will get a charge on yourself on a shield, and after 10 charges, the 11th hit that Rhino tries to hit on you, that is going to be unblockable. So you have to keep an eye on that 11th hit once the counter on double shield is at 10. And there's also power shield, so he does not take damage from basic attacks. He will only take damage from special attacks. That's why you will see zeros with the basic attacks and a huge crit with SP2. So, having that out of the way, the final node is going to be Tantrum. Well, Tantrum, you will need either of the one debuffs. You either need a Taunt, you either need a Concussion, or you need Enervate, and you can remove all the Tantrum charges on Rhino before you knock him down. But if you don't have any of these, every time you hit Rhino, every 5 hits, he's going to get a Tantrum charge. And once you knock him down, those Tantrum charges are gonna explode on the attacker as damage. So that's why you need all the time, you need to have some kind of a Taunt, a Concussion, or Enervate. I am using Spider-Man Classic for this fight because he's kind of a cheese for this and he keeps applying those tantrums. And it makes very easy work of Rhino, which makes sense as well because he is a Spideyverse villain. So best champion is going to be Spider-Man Classic. Other options I've also given you, you can use them as well. So yeah, either Warlock works really well, Spider-Punk works really well. You can also use Hit Monkey. So plenty of options available. Gwenpool is another option. Depending what you have available, you can use that. Next defender is going to be a Red Hulk with Defective Defense, Buffet, Power Focus 1 and Foresight. So with Defective Defense, whenever you will block the opponent's special, when you will parry the opponent, you will get a Disorient on you. That will reduce your ability accuracy by 30%, and with 3 Disorients, you will have 90% ability accuracy defensive, so you might not be able to parry him. Next one is Buffet. Whenever you will apply a debuff on the opponent, he is going to heal back a percentage of his health. I think it's around 5%, which is a lot, so you really need a right champion for this fight. There's also Power Focus 1, so you will the defender will gain SP1 faster and then slow down after gaining 1 bar of power. There's also Foresight, so if you are going to intercept the opponent, you're going to get a Fury that will increase your damage by 300%. Now, quite a few options that can be used here can be your champions that have some kind of a heal block, or champions that have overwhelming debuffs that can take out Red Hulk. So, for example, you can use someone like Warlock, you can use somebody like Vision, gives you easy access, or you can use somebody like Nick Fury or Black Cat, and you can maximize your 5x5 into deep wounds, and you can use that to your advantage. You can also have Despair 3x3, and then that can work too. Another good option is like Elsa Bloodstone. Now, the thing with Elsa Bloodstone, she has easy access to intercept, so she can easily intercept Red Hulk. All you need to do though is build one SP3, throw that out so you have a big cruelty, and then you will out damage the region. So yeah, that is with that. And you can also use Scorpion, just change the pre-fight to shock, and you can apply shocks on Red Hulk, and you can use your SP2, and you can take the buffet region for yourself, so that is also a good option. Well, I like to do it old school. I just remember the Labyrinth of Legends, the first fight with Red Hulk, and I had a Star-Lord 5-star, like, you know what, let's live the old days. So I brought in my trusty Star-Lord and started hitting him. It took a bit of a time, but until the combo was built up nicely to 100, then you can see some really good damage coming out. And then on top of it, Armor Break to do extra damage to Hulk. So yeah, I took it with the Star-Lord. It's up to you what champion you want to bring in. Now another fun fight is going to be Hulkbuster with Hit Me I Dare You, Spiked Armor, shockingly brilliant and dulled. So your ability to apply criticals is reduced because of dulled. Hit Me I Dare You is for every hit he is going to gain a charge, and once there are 10 charges, that is converted into an armor up. There's Spiked Armor as well, so he will return damage to you. If you crit, he's going to get a Spiked Armor buff on him and he can return back the damage, but because there is dull, that helps you out. And yeah, the whole premise of this fight is to not let Hulkbuster gain those armors, because he also reduces ability accuracy, so you have to keep constantly removing his armors, and that will help you bring down Hulkbuster faster. So that is the whole premise of the fight. Now I'm using a null. Null is just amazing on removing those armors. Just medium, 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 medium. Keep doing it as much as possible. And then you throw in SP3, activating... Yeah, then you throw in SP3 and activating the corruption. And now you can go in and start hitting him quite a bit. So yeah, SP1, Hulkbuster is much easier to evade. So I will tell you to keep him doing SP1 only. And do your damage during the corruption phases up. And yeah. Some other champions that can work here are going to be your Magneto, your Corvus Glaive, your Venom pool is going to work really well here. Also your Hulkling and Shuri, all are some good options that can work. But I personally really enjoyed using Null, so if you have a Null, bring them up as well. He does really good work here too. The next one is going to be a Vision Aarkus. I'm using a Human Torch. Now this was a mistake on my part because I mixed up my fights. I was supposed to not use Colossus for Black Widow, Clairvoyant, Bullet Time, the second fight on the path, but I used him. And now I needed a champion that was immune to Cold Snap. So I had to bring in Human Torch, and you will notice I'm taking a lot of damage on the block. So Vision Aarkus is annoying in that way. You need a champion who's a bit tanky that can take specials on the block and is immune to either Cold Snap or is immune to Armor Break. You need either one of those, and the rest of the fight you don't need to worry about the damage over time at all. So some good options are going to be your Wiccan, your Colossus, your Iceman, Absman, Human Torch. These are also some good examples, and it's a really pretty straightforward Vision Aarkus fight. Vision Aarkus fight. So there's special burst lockdown. So whenever he will use a special, you're gonna get an armor break and also heal block on yourself. There's power shield, so you will only take damage with special. There's power reversal, so do not bring in champions that have power gain. In my legendary path video, I did say to bring in Serpent. That was a mistake on my part. Do not bring in Serpent. He does not work. And then there is going to be Fisher. So yeah, I was able to bring him down to 29% or something like that. And then I died because of block damage. I had to like revive and come back and take him out. But all in all, it's not a difficult fight. Do not push him to an SP3. Start baiting when he has an SP1. So even if he reaches to an SP2, he can throw that out. And yeah, that's about it for this fight. I'll see you on the next one. Hela is the next fight on this path. Now she is pretty easy to deal with. I would say if you have a Doom, assign Doom as the first champion ever when you do your run. Even a 5-star Doom works, even a 4-star works. I'm not sure if 4 stars are allowed or not. 6-star rank 1 Doom also works. So yeah, ideally they should be Sig 200 because you can keep those parries and your stuns and up. So only thing you need to take care about that this should be maximum Sig. And rest you're fine. So the way Hela works, whenever she'll take more than 2 or 3% damage of her HP, she gets a physical resist charge. Now because we are using Doom and with every heavy attack we apply stagger, that physical resist from Hela is removed and is converted into a shock, because that's how the ability works for Doom. And because there's a shock, I can use my backhand slap on Hela and I can stun him before I knock her down. So that makes like a cheese loop in the corner that you can keep using and take her out. Other than that, some other champions that can work really well are going to be your Absman, your Wiccan. Because of Rust and Ruin, you will keep getting armor breaks, so somebody who can shock them off can work really well. You can also use champions like Ghost Rider. So there's plenty of different options available. You can look around, but if you have a Doom, just bring in and take it easy, man. Just cheese him out. Alrighty, moving on to the next fight. Well, next fight is going to be against Juggernaut, who has caustic temper, so he will apply poisons when you will attack him. But the way to do full damage to him is to have a fury, otherwise your damage will be reduced. And those specials are also unblockable. So, pretty standard kind of node combination, only with caustic temper. You can bring in champions that are poison immune. That is going to help you. And there's also subterfuge block. So if you block the opponent, you will get a fury. Whenever you will hit the opponent, you will get a fury on yourself with Rising Sun. And those furies will help you bypass the caustic temper node. The only thing you need to dispel the furies with a heavy attack before they reach 10 or more than 10, because that will apply a degen on you. So rest of it, it's a straightforward fight, but it's still difficult in a way that Juggernaut can just start throwing specials out of nowhere and you might get caught off guard with the unblockable. So just be wary about that. And yeah, you should be able to take out Juggernaut. Just you need a specialized champion. So when you're planning the path, plan this fight first, and you should be able to get through this quite easily. Just use your 5-hit combos and let those furies flow. If they're about to get at 10, use a heavy attack to remove them, and you should be able to bring Juggernaut down in no time. And then we have a pretty standard vanilla Weapon X fight, the usual. He gets aggressive whenever he is above certain charges, so you have to play slow and play back. So the nodes are here going to be Poison Vulnerability and Enhanced Bleeds with Aggressive. So if you apply bleeds on you, you're probably going to be dead. So I would say use a Robotic Champion, and you don't need to worry about this bleeds, you can bypass that. Next one is going to be aggressive, so Weapon X is going to be super aggressive, although his AI is already very aggressive, but he's going to be even more, so it'll be easy for you to do intercepts, or you can time your intercepts with his run. And finally here, it's going to be Poison Vulnerability, so if you bring in a champion that can apply poison easily, that will give extra damage to Wolverine Weapon X, and that will also reduce his ability to regen. No, actually, Weapon X is immune to any heal regen or heal reversal. So yeah, those are the options that you can use. You will notice I'm using my 5-star Warlock. I can also backdraft intercept him, so plenty of options available for me. I was able to take him down eventually. So many unstoppables and unblockables, but in the end we took him down. It wasn't an easy fight at all, so I hope you're really prepared for this one. Some champions that could really work here are going to be your Nimrod. Apart from that, you can use Omega Sentinel with that constant heal block. So plenty of options can then be used here. My personal favorite for this fight is going to be your with Vision. He can keep applying the heal blocks really well and bypass any kind of opening that Wolverine gets, because whenever you will parry Wolverine, you will go invisible, and that will give you an opportunity to retaliate back. Just be careful about the unstoppable, and you should be able to get it done. And we are at 7.1.5, and we are starting all of these mashup champions. So the first one is Electro Luke. Now he is an annoying champion to deal with, not at all easy. Well, let's jump into it and explain you how you can deal with him. So the first node is going to be Arrogance. On every 11th hit, you're going to be faltered, and you are going to miss. So keep an eye on that. 10 hit combos, then use a parry, then try to hit, just like so 20 hits. Now I'm trying to hit him right there, and on the 21st hit I should be getting faltered. Now I'm using a Falcon here and I have lockdown on, so don't worry about that in this case, because you will not, once there's a lockdown on Electro Luke or any science champion, Falcon does not allow them to activate any kind of defensive ability accuracy on them. So having said that, next one is Combo Party. So for every 10 hits on the combo meter, you're going to get a cruelty buff that increases your damage for your special attacks. There's also power build-up, so your opponent, when at 2 bars of power, starts getting prowesses. So yeah, these are mostly the nodes that are there. Now remember that he is a combination of Luke Cage and Electro, so whenever you will hit him in his block or something, or if you hit him straight up, he is going to return some damage as shock. So be careful, either bring in a shock immune champion, or a champion like Falcon that can reduce ability accuracy and you don't have to go against Electro Luke much and take that damage. But some really good options here are going to be your Baron Zemo. You can only use medium attacks because they are non-contact. You can use Shuri here because all of her attacks are non-contact. Another one that works really well is going to be heavy attack with tentacles with Omega Red. Falcon is another option. You can also use a Namor 6200 that is going to return all the damage back to Luke Cage, so that works as well. And there's also Havoc. I've not tried Havoc myself, but because I think he's going to be charged by all of those shock charges, so I think he will be a good addition as well. So yeah, those are the champions I would suggest for this fight. So let me know in the comment section which one you used, and let's move on to the next fight. Next defender is going to be a Punishing Angel. Now she's a crossover between Angela and Punisher. Really fun fight. There is a node Mercy, so Mercy knows kind of works like bullet time. You need to block, build up those those Mercy charges, and then activate the Mercy charges, and the only time the defender will take 100% damage. Now I like to really play around it, and because if you play within the Mercy rules, the fight is going to be super long. So you will notice I am using an Archangel here, and what I'm trying to do is to apply my neurotoxins, and once they're there, then I am just dashing back in and keeping Punishing Angel in the wall. The more she stays in the wall, the less she will charge when the Mighty Charge will not activate, because if she charges, and with the Mighty Charges, all of the damage over time buffs will be removed. So what I'm trying to do is to keep a corner and keep spamming my special ones, and whenever she will throw a special, I will just block it out and go back in. I think that would be the best way to approach this fight without using the Mercy node. Now you can get similar results when you use a Spider-Man Stark Enhance that can do. You can also cheese it with Ronin, because when it's 2 bars of power, she gains non-stop prowesses every 2 seconds, and they are permanent. So once you have 3 to 4 prowesses, you can just throw a special one and keep her stun locked, and yeah, you should be able to take about Punishing Angel. Now if you are gonna use Ronin for more than one fight, that's okay. You have a 5-star Ronin, you have a 6-star Ronin, you even have a 4-star, although I'm not sure if it's allowed, but there are plenty of Ronins in your roster. You can use him for 2 fights. Mojo is there to reduce the power, to reduce the buffs and to finish them faster, and so you can apply more degen, and you can also quake out this fight. So plenty of options available. I just want to skip the mercy node, so that's why I'm giving you options that can work without mercy as well. The next defender is going to be a Night Carnage, so he's going to have animations of Nightcrawler, but he looks like Carnage. He even has a cute little sword. So the way this works is there's energy adoption lightning, so whenever you attack the opponent, you will get a lightning debuff on you. So the shock debuff on you. So the way it works is you bring in shock immune champions. So Shuri, Scorpion, Doom, anyone who is shock immune will work really well on this fight. Now alternatively, there is also a node that is poison vulnerability. So if you bring a champion that can easily apply a poison, so that will also work. That will stop the shock damage. So if there is a poison on the opponent, it will not shock you. So champions like, again, Scorpion can work both ways. So if you have a poison champion, a champion that can apply poison, that will be the best way to go against Nightcrawler. Or if you can ghost them, which apparently I can't because I just died. I brought him down to 44%, and now remaining I will take him out with ghost. I'm just building up those shocks on me, and I'm going to convert them into furies and do some good damage. So 4 furies, there we go, 27,000, 27,000, 21,000 again. So yeah, this strategy also works. So take your pick and let's take out Carnage. I mean, Night Carnage. And the next defender is probably the most annoying one in my opinion as a mashup champion, and that is going to be a Spider Witch with Backblast, Staggering Beauty, Special Chaos Inversion, Power Buildup, and Overflow. So you need a champion first that is going to be immune to not only Incinerate because of Backblast, but because also to Poison from Spider Witch Sig ability, because the Sig ability on her is the same as Scarlet Witch, so every now and then she can apply poisons. So having that said that, during special attack the controls will be reversed, so you really have to premeditate the special attack. So whenever is a bar of power, just stay a little away, keep your distance, so that gives you enough time to evade those special attacks, because if you take that special attacks on the chin, they are really a lot damaging and they can do a lot of damage on you. So be very precise and wary what champion you're gonna pick for this fight, because she can easily cost you 4 to 5 revives without practicing against her. So yeah, I like to keep her to an SP1. I can evade the SP2 as well with the reverse control. So for me, the general rule of thumb is as soon as Spider Witch gets a SP1, I'm gonna wait for her to dash into me. So right here, 1 bar power, and I'm gonna go back and wait. There's special attack, and I go back in and attack. So you need to premeditate that, okay, she's got 1 bar of power. After the next attack, she's going to do a special attack. Am I ready to evade that? So you have to premeditate a little bit, and you should be able to evade those specials and help. And to help with that, you can bring in champions that have poison and also immunity to Incinerate, so you don't have to worry about the Backblast node and also the poison from Spider Witch. So some cool options are going to be your Human Torch, Penny Parker, and Anti-Venom, your Red Hulk, Mephisto, Iceman. All of these champions can work. Now remember, Spider Witch cannot throw a special attack 3. So I just got confused there and I died because I was expecting an SP3 with my ice armor up. But she threw an SP2 first. That took out my armor, and while I was figuring it out, she threw an SP1 and my timing on the evade was off and I died. So her specials are very high damaging, so just be careful about that. And yeah, you should be able to run through this fight. You will need to learn how to navigate through the inverted controls, and with a champion that's immune to incinerate and your poison, between that you should be able to get this fight done. Now before the boss is going to be Ice Pheonix. Now this fight is sped up purely because it's a very simple fight. You just need a champion that is immune or resistant to Cold Snap and you should be good. It's an Ice Pheonix, so the special attacks are from Iceman, and the most damage she will do is either your block damage or with a Cold Snap if you get caught by an SP1 or SP2. Now initially I was saving Human Torch for this fight, but I messed up because I used Human Torch before and I didn't want to restart. My Serpent is a 7-star. My Ironheart is also a champion that is in 6-star, so I didn't have much of an option here. I already used Warlock, so I'm going to use a Silver Surfer. But in my defense, he is only a 6-star rank 1, so that is below a rank of 5-star 6-5, because I know a lot of people ask me it was only a 5-star only challenge. But if you look at the PI, it's the same PI as your 5-star champion. Yes, I do get a little bit of extra damage, but I think this is a good representative how the fight will feel like. Now this fight has encroaching stun, so you have to keep an eye on the stun timer and save your specials and throw it according to the timer. There's also Cold Fusion, Power Access 1, Power Build Up and Power Overflow, so that remaining is all about extra damage. So you can try and bring in a champion that can take advantage of all of those buffs and maybe keep push Ice Pheonix to an SP2, because the SP2 is super easy to evade with Iceman SP2 animation, so that can help you out. But you will need a champion that is immune to Cold Snap, because if you get hit by a special one, you are able to just walk through the fight quite easily. So I brought in a Silver Surfer, 6-star. Other options I've mentioned here can be your Colossus, can be Human Torch, Serpent, Warlock. Any champion that is immune to Cold Snap should work here. Try to keep Ice Pheonix to an SP1 only. Not really required. She can go to SP2, but with SP1 it's a much easier evade and you can jump back in. So I did die there once, and I think I died here twice. It took me 2 revives on this fight because I just don't really play Silver Surfer and wasn't really comfortable with the rotations and everything. So I died a couple of times, but I did end up on the correct side of it, and I was able to take down Ice Pheonix quite comfortably in the end. And finally, we have Gwenperion. Now for Gwenperion, you will need a champion that has either Incinerate and Shock, and you can use that to take Gwenperion down, so you can bypass a selective time stream node. Now, the way that works is you will notice a cooldown with the gray timer underneath Gwenperion's bar. By the time it's over, there should be applied Incinerate or shock on Gwenperion, so she will not recover back all of her health. So if that is not applied, Gwenperion will recover all of her health and she'll get back to 100. Now I've received countless messages that Shuri does not work, Shuri does not work, Shuri does work. The problem is you need to apply active shocks, not passive ones. So what you're going to do is you're going to only use SP2 with Shuri and get those 50 shocks up, and after that just use SP3s, and if you have 1/3 despair, that will help you. It's going to be a longer fight, but it's really doable. Now, talking about Ronan, the best way is to just push Gwenperion to 2 bars of power and let those prowesses build. When there is enough prowesses, just simply SP1 spam, keep it stunned and keep hitting that. She will gain power, she will gain her health back once or twice, but then there will be enough prowesses to do the damage and you can finish off with a big SP3. Other options are also mentioned. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the explanation. If you have any questions, please shoot them in the comment section. I know it's a big content, it might have quite a few questions. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this 5-star challenge. I'll be back with the other parts soon. Bye.